Okay. Huh. All right, let's wrap up this round here. So, let's see. Get our chats open. Looks like there are already results to the games we've been watching earlier today. And disappointing results at that. Looks like both of these games I was following ended in draws. That is very disappointing. We'll start with this one here. Pragg and Nodirbek. So after this bishop d1 move, which might have been too fine, king h2, knight f4. Oof, okay, I see what he tried to do. And then chase the knight away. Oh, what a shot from Pragg. That was move 37. He had seconds left to figure it all out at that point. Dang. The saving move, forcing pieces to trade. And now there's nothing to be said. I feel like he maybe slipped his advantage here with bishop d1. And I invested so much time in the game that I'm going to check and see if that's true. No. Computer says he didn't have too much going on at this point already. So rook c1. Computer also says black could trade on c1 and still hold, which we thought for sure not, and Pragg also thought for sure not. This was a key defensive move, knight h5. Anything else was really bad for Pragg. But the computer thinks this was enough counterplay, bishop e6 only move. And rook b1 only move. Wow. So Pragg just defended that great. Okay, so that's the conclusion of that one. Now let's see what's happened here. Gukesh's game went bonkers. So queen e5, g3, knight c7, queen c6, h5. What was I thinking of here? I was thinking of queen e1, bishop d4, getting white to re-retreat. But then, after queen f3, I didn't have a move there, right? I hadn't figured anything out there. If you go back to g7, there's queen c6. So I had not found anything for Gukesh here. So he played h5, which I don't believe is going to do it, so to speak. And then finally he brings the knight from... So here, bishop d6, there would have been check, right? So Sevian plays king g2, threatening bishop d6. He brings the knight, but gives the b pawn. And this is giving nothing. Tries to weaken the opponent a little bit. Can't take on g3 because of queen e4 winning a piece. Just brings the queen to defend over here. And 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 3 pawns each. There's nothing to do here. And now he's just going to trade the last pawn. Okay. So, nothing doing there. I think that my guess slash conclusion is that there was nothing here after g3. That, yeah, computer agrees. Nothing to do. Knight c7, queen can come into c6 or b7, and doesn't matter what you do. So, his advantage disappeared when he went for... When he went for this move, queen c6. Wait, it's saying white was better? And it's saying rook d3 should be played. White's better? After queen e3, queen f4. Wow. Threatening knight g5, making black maybe play h6. Hey, ZJ. So rook d1, he traded it. Knight c7 seemed right. Bishop d6. And now nothing. So I was really wrong on the evaluation here because I thought he was like definitely better. Here's where he thought 10 minutes about rook takes a8. That was so weird. e5, knight e8, good move. And this whole time, he's worse. Well, that's a boggling of my mind. The whole game perfectly accurate. That's the hidden story, huh? Bishop d6, best move. I mean, Sevian basically played a perfect game here. I wonder who they thought was better while they were playing. That's bizarre. I mean, I didn't just prefer black. I thought black was super better. And Fabi did win. You know, the advantage he had that we couldn't tell what it was, he had it apparently. So where did we last see this position? We saw it here. Queen f6. Defends. Has to block d6. h4. I bet the computer's going to show that these guys were playing like perfect moves too, and that Firouzja was right the whole time. Fabi was better, and it was scary, and blah blah blah. I just don't see why or how. Firouzja initiates something. I don't know what he's afraid of, right? I still don't know. I guess Fabi's engineered pressure on the e-pawn here. If rook f5, bishop h3 will drive him off. If rook e8, there's f4. So he's just lost here. Just losing the e-pawn. Yeah, this is lost. So how did that happen in like 2 moves? Brings the queen around. Huh. So bishop e6. Bishop c6, I guess. Rook f7, bishop c6. Takes his pawn. Bishop's got to hold that diagonal. Heads for b5. Threatening rook e8. Dang, what a cold final move. I don't even know what that's about. I mean, he's chasing the bishop off, defending the rook, but why wouldn't rook e3 be fine? This game was just... I mean, even after it's over, I can't figure out why or how. What's the... I mean, I know he has this extra pawn. Obviously, by now I'm aware of that. Maybe it's just to do this. Collect that one, and if you ever take, the king and pawn ending's winning. So you can never take. Maybe it's nothing more than that. Say rook e3, yes, fe3, bishop can move somewhere, rook d6 is the only winning move. So that was the point, when the king's not yet on e7. And then you take. Okay, so it's just that. Okay, so now I'm curious, was like Firouzja always in trouble? Like we saw him around here, and he was just tanked. Yes. It was always a terrible position. Wow. Wow. That's mind-boggling. And then we saw like early in the middle game this move queen e2, which I didn't understand why he was putting his queen on e2. And already Firouzja was a bit down on time. He went for f5 after long thought. Computer says that's the real beginning of the troubles. It says he was fine here until he went f5. He just goes for the trade. Yeah, apparently there's some like double blunders. Basically, he can just trade on c5 and be better. Why would he be better if b takes? Oh, because right away f4 while the queen's there. Tempo and breaks the structure. We're at round 3 right now. I can update the standings here based on what I see happening. So Fabi is going to have 2 out of 3, so he should move up the standings. MVL drew with Aronian. So drew his 3rd game. Sevian drew his 3rd game. Gukesh drew his 1st game. Obviously, they're in the wrong order at the moment. Aronian held the game, or is he still playing? Is Aronian still playing against MBL? Aronian's still playing. Turn off the analysis. I don't want to know if there's a live game. Wow, MBL's got that extra bishop. So I'm updating their scores too soon. Sorry. I thought all the games were done. Whoops. Pragg drew, so he's got 2 out of 3. And Ali Reza lost, so 1.5 out of 3. Kind of switched places with Fabi there. Nobody's got 3 out of 3. Nobody even has 2.5, ZJ. Nobody's won 2 games. King b7. If takes here, here, here. Wait a minute. Yeah, he's in check, so he goes here. So if the rook moves this way, there's rook f5. So he takes here, goes here. This pawn's attacked, and if you defend it, you allow rook f5. So white's going to play rook and bishop against rook, I guess. Should be safe enough for Levon with a 30-second increment, in my opinion. Having now learned that endgame somewhat at some point and then forgotten it, but I think 30-second increment should be pretty comfortable for playing it. That Fabi game is just incomprehensible. Wow. Right, what was I just on? I was looking at knight takes c5. So looking at knight c5, bc5, and the computer was going to tell us why white's better here. Oh, right, because of f4. Gosh, that game was super confusing. Wow, white's already like always crushingly better with this bishop. Like the computer says, if queen e7, you can even play f3. You don't even do anything to black structure. Knight e4, fe4, rook f2, and it says white's way better with the bad bishop against the good bishop. It's just bonkers. Just bonkers. I don't understand anything about that. To go to the one live game, let's see, rook and bishop against the king. Yeah, I'm not going to sit around and watch that for 2 hours on increment. The rook and bishop versus rook prevents king d5. That makes sense. The rook here clears the way for bishop e5 and the king to come forward. So the black king's going to go this way rather than this way where the white king would meet them. Basically, when the white king goes this way, your king goes that way. If the white king comes this way, your king goes that way. Same as in rook and knight versus rook. Lentils, you had the question, should there be rating deflation in chess if players don't play regularly? By which I think you mean, should somebody's rating decay when they're inactive? And I think probably not. Because they don't have a way to increase people's ratings when they are studying and improving. In general, over time, they haven't had a problem with decaying ratings, or they haven't had a problem at any point with the rating system based on people being inactive. It's never hurt the rating system. All right, he offloads the pawn, and that's the end of that. So, barring some disaster / miracle, whatever, Levon will hold this. He's got 26 minutes plus the 30-second increment. MBL dropped the A pawn. He was winning before that. Ay. That's true. Let's see the phase of the game. Instead of watching this rook and bishop versus rook, let's see the phase of the game that was really exciting that we missed, right? So we are right around here. Rook here. Trades a rook. Shocking. Shocking blunder from MVL. I don't know if it's a blunder, obviously. It's just a surprise because he doesn't want to trade pieces, I think. Black's pieces are a little bit discoordinated. And there's more air around their king because you can get at it from either side. So you want to avoid trading pieces as white here. Oh, you know, I've done that a few times, ZJ, but not in a long time. Get centralized. And again, the idea is if black pursues, white's got air from the second side, right, and wins a pawn. So queen here, threatening queen c1. Maxime covers that square, and then f4. Wow. So f4 getting really busy. Rook f1 would probably be a killer move with the idea of pawn takes, queen f8, but the bishop's on that square. On f4, if he gave this check, maybe black plays rook g8 now. Tempo on the queen, and then if you take here, they take here. I don't know if that's absolute death for white, but it's a bit scary, and there's this queen g6 move as well. So I can see why he didn't go queen h8. He goes queen b8, repeats once or twice for time. Isn't sure what to do. Goes c4, sacks a piece. Wait, hang on. Why doesn't he just like crisscross like this? Is it because if he goes to c8, black can play here? And then he doesn't have queen f4. So that's why he's staying on the diagonal. So plays c4 from here. Takes, check. Now he checks here. So now if the king comes up, there's the devastation. So black has to go back, trade queens, and lose a piece. It's a pretty good position, Maxime. So now he's got bishop and rook pawn against 2 pawns. This should be a winning endgame. He must have just hung the a pawn, as Evan says. This looks essentially like a winning endgame, where he blundered this move rook c5 or something. If he goes rook h5, there's rook c2. I mean, this is not easy to win or anything, this position. It is not easy to win if it's winning. But it does seem like he bungled it. Like if I click on the computer analysis, I suspect it will say winning. Plus 2.5. Interesting, like the first move it suggests, I can get behind that. A3, just so that rook c2 doesn't win this pawn at random. Rook a4 doesn't win the pawn at random. Just puts the pawn on a more secure square so your rook can go do stuff. I was thinking of maybe playing a move like bishop e5 at first, right? And then I saw rook here, similar to bishop f6. And then I was thinking maybe we could go here, just centralizing the king some more. So we could go bishop d4, bishop f6 with the king here. But to show how hard it is, you know, the computer says that's not the best after h4 here. Here, it's reduced my evaluation by a tiny bit. So I will say from a human perspective, you know, how he should go about winning this endgame is not guaranteed. We're not just going to just call it a, you know, a bungle or a blunder. I bet that even great human players would struggle mightily to win this endgame against a computer from the white side. But I do think a computer would win with white. It is the wrong colored rook pawn, so white can never trade rooks. Right? Any, like bishop e5, rook c5, any rook trade, it's done. You resign. I mean, you resign yourself to a draw. So, yeah, it was not easy. Not easy. So, and then we can just go to the final position that they've got so far. If king c4, there's rook b4 as a defense. So white's not threatening too much yet. You know, when you check, the king comes here. When you check, it just comes back and defends the rook. Yeah. All right, so that's today's round. Hey, fried chicken. Ja, ja, ja. Es geht mir gut. Vielen Dank. Und dir? Ich hoffe, dass du auch gut gehst. I think since these games are winding down, I should try to maybe either eat lunch or hit the gym or a little bit of both. Wesley Drew, ZJ. First game to finish. Just like he likes it. He may not win the tournament, but he'll get paid the most per hour. That's the Wesley MO for the last 5-7 years. Yeah. All right. I think that's a wrap for today, folks. I might be able to do this again tomorrow. We'll see what Jesse's plans are in terms of streaming. I'll have to check in with him. But maybe we can look at round 4 tomorrow, unless it's a rest day. Let's go check the schedule. I do think they play like 9 games in 11 days. They have 2 rest days, and they probably have a rest day tomorrow if they do, huh? August 21, round 4. That's great. No rest day. There's only 1 rest day, I guess. Okay, that's good. Yeah. Cool. Alrighty. Yeah, wishing everybody a great rest of their day. Sorry for the interruption mid-round. Although that's expected. It's the only way it can go. I have to pick up the kids mid-round every day. No way around it. So yeah, take care, and I'll see folks tomorrow with any luck.